Ecocide, which was recently in the news, what it is? It is a mass destruction. It is a ecocide, and this ecocide is a mass destruction nature by human. So humans के द्वारा अगर mass destruction हो, that is known as the ecocide. Okay. So describes the mass destruction nature by human. Ecocide is threaten all human population who are dependent on natural resources for maintaining ecosystem. So the independent expert panel of the legal definition, ecocide is the unlawful act committed with the knowledge that the substantial likelihood severe widespread long-term damage of the environment being caused by those acts. So the commonly cited deforestation during the Vietnam War. In the Vietnam War, there was deforestation, environment destruction, Russian invasion over the Ukraine, deforestation of the Indonesia Amazon rainforest, oil pollution, and Niger Delta, and the Chernobyl disaster. This Chernobyl disaster is a nuclear disaster, and that is also because of the human. So this is originally planned to include the Rome statue. So it was planned to in the Rome statue, but now supported by many states, but removed due to the objection of the United Kingdom and France. Okay, and the United States of America. They were not agree in that. So ecocide has been made national law in the several countries. So it is a national law in the several country, including the European Union. Stop the ecocide international and other working to enshrine ecocide into the Rome Statute, making it both international law and the national law. Now next is consider about the Astra missile. So Astra is the first indigenously developed air-to-air missile beyond the visual range. It was recently successfully test fired LCA Tejas, and that was test fire over the LCA Tejas. Okay, so the Astra is the visual range air-to-air missile, and that is 37 km beyond range, and range is 60 km in the all-weather missile. Indigenously designed, Astra is a indigenously designed missile and developed by the DRDO also. Okay, DRDO, and state of art missile, that is supersonic speed, it is 4780 km, single shot kill probability. So this is 3.8 meter long missile, is smallest DRDO developed missile and can be launched from different altitudes. And this missile is like Su-30, and the missile will be mounted on the fighter aircraft, that is Tejas, that is light combat aircraft, and Mirage 2000 and MiG. So what they are using first is the Tejas light combat aircraft, then Mirage. Mirage is also using in the Astra, it is 2000 Mirage, and MiG-29 and MiG-29, and before that Sukhoi 30, and that was also integrating. Okay, now next, which of the statement not correct of the Shanghai Corporation? Currently Shanghai official language are Mandarin, Russian and English, so that is wrong. Shanghai is founded in 2001, that is president of Russia, China, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, that is true. And recently Minister Narendra Modi, India based Bhashini with SCO. So language platform name is Bhashini. So this Bhashini platform with the SCO, Narendra Modi was to remove the language barrier. They were establishing Bhashini. So the SCO was founded in summit of 2001. Presidentship of the Russia, China, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, India and Pakistan become the member in 2017. Currently SCO official language are Mandarin and Russia, so English is not the language. Okay, and currently SCO official language, India has been pitching for also English, so India is pitching but not yet. Okay, now critical wildlife habitat. The critical wildlife habitat have been envisages the scheduled tribes and the traditional forest dweller 2006 act, and this such area are required to be kept and involved for the purpose of wildlife conservation. The power to notify the rules is in that rests with the Ministry of Environment and Forest Climate Change. And last one is not correct. So the critical wildlife is the scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dweller. It act was critical wildlife habitat, the area national park sanctuary where it has been specifically clearly established case by case basis of scientific and objective criteria, such as area required to kept as involved for the purpose of wildlife conservation. Ministry of Environment and Forest, that is true. And now Before a critical wildlife area is notified, not only do the right of the tribal and forest dweller have to be settled, but also scientific evidence has to provided for the established people presence over this. Okay, so Gram Sabha is also required for the creating this in area for the critical wildlife and habitat. So Gram Sabha is also needed for the critical wildlife habitat, and the pre-informed consent of Gram Sabha must be given. So we need a Gram Sabha and their free consent also. Okay, and central government, what it is want to tell, the critical wildlife habitat thus declared by central government only. It is not declared by the state government, it is declared by the central government only. So central government will declare this. Okay, the state government are needed to initiate the process for the notification of this. This is needed but yet not provided. So critical wildlife habitat, that is from the central government only. Now next is consider the following about the air quality management. So and enter the complaints as is deemed necessary for purpose of protecting improving the quality of the air, NCR. The commission was first formed by the 2021, so that is actually wrong. So this commission was first formed by the ordinance in 2020. So here is 21, that is wrong. So this air quality management, that was came 2020 October, and Air Environment Pollution Authority has been dissolved to make the way for the commission. The commission will be a statutory authority, and the commission will be supersede bodies such as the Central State Pollution Control Board, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, UP, Rajasthan. The parliament approved the commission air quality management national capital region, and the chairperson to be chaired by the government official rank of secretary and chief secretary. So chairperson will be the chief secretary ranked person, and chairperson will hold the post till 70 year of the age. The age will be 70 year of the age, and it will be have a power to issue direction to these state government on the issue pertaining to air pollution deemed necessary for the purpose of the protecting and improving the quality of the air in the NCR region. Okay, now next one is consider the following about the Voyager 1. Voyager 1 is the farthest human-made object space behind only its predecessor of the Voyager 2. The Voyager 1 was the first human-made object fly past Uranus. Voyager 2 was launched before Voyager 1. So that is not true. Actually, Voyager 2 was launched in 1977. And it is saying Voyager 2 was launched before Voyager 1. So that is wrong actually. And that is actually right, but statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 1 is Voyager 1 is one of the farthest human-made object in space behind only its predecessor Voyager 2. So behind only its predecessor, that is not true. It is currently positioned 19.9 billion kilometer away from the Earth. Voyager 1, it located approximately 24 billion kilometer from the Earth. Okay, so that is incorrect. Voyager 2 is the interstellar space situated between the heliosphere and sun and the atmosphere. So Voyager 2, that is between the heliosphere and sun, heliosphere of our sun and the astrosphere. Okay, and the Voyager 2 become the second spacecraft to venture into the interstellar. It is a interstellar space object, that is in 2018 it was established. Okay, so it joined its twin spacecraft Voyager 1 in the exploring the space between stars and NASA Kennedy Space Center. So the Kennedy Space Center of the NASA and the Florida, Cape Canaveral, Florida. Voyager 2 was launched in the 1997, and Voyager 1 was launched in 5 September. That Voyager 2 was in the August and Voyager 1 was in the September. So Voyager 2 was came before Voyager 1. Okay, and both spacecraft were delivered to space. Titan and Centaur expendable rocket. Both Voyager spacecraft are the only human-made object to explore the region between the stars. This is the human-made objects which is exploring the region between the star. Voyager 1 continued to function smoothly, and Voyager 1 was first human-made object. That is, Voyager 2 was also first human-made object to fly by the Neptune. So these all are correct. Now consider the following about UN Intergovernmental Negotiation Framework. It facilitates discussion and negotiation on the reform of United Nations Security Council. A dedicated website on the Security Council reform has been established as a repository of UN process. So both are true. UN Intergovernmental Negotiation is to facilitate the reform into the UN, and that was United Nations Security Council, and a dedicated website on the Security Council reform established in the IGN, and it is consist of the UN member composed of several different international organization as well as G4 nation. So in G4 nation there is a India, Brazil, Japan and Germany. Okay, this G4 nation are the India, Brazil, Japan and Germany, seeking a permanent seat into the reformed UNSC. And African Union is also there, which is uniting the consensus group, also known as the Coffee Club. So this consensus club, that is a Coffee Club included the Arab League and the United Consensus Group, also known as the Coffee Club, and Arab League and the Caribbean Community, that is CARICOM. So the two-phase process is first phase member state exchange view of the proposal on the Security Council, and second phase member state negotiate finalize the draft resolution of the UN Security Council. So this was the four nation, India, Brazil, Japan and Germany, seeking to permanent seat in the UNSC. So they seeking to permanent seat. First was the India, Brazil, Japan and Germany, and united for the consensus in the Coffee Club, and Arab League and the Caribbean communities also. So this consists of the UN member of the state. Okay, and the IGN is a two-phase process. The IGN is a most comprehensive, inclusive forum. This is negotiation on Security Council, and it has potential to produce the consensus-based reform package in the acceptable UN member. Now, next, with reference to the Abraham Accord, which is the following incorrect. So it is a accord between the Israel and the United Arab Emirates and the Bahrain. Okay, that is true. Under the embassies will be established and exchange the ambassador. So they will exchange the ambassadors. Okay, and mutual understanding and the coexistence. The parties stand ready to join with the United States to develop the strategic agenda for the East Asia. So that is incorrect actually. So now Abraham Accord was the between Israel, UAE and the Bahrain, mediated in USA, and first Arab-Israel peace deal that was in 26th year, bringing Israel, UAE and Bahrain together, reflect their shared concern for Iran's rising influence in the region. And that was Iran has a critical of both deal because he is developing the ballistic missiles. As per the agreement, UAE and the Bahrain will establish the and embassy and the exchange ambassador. So working together with Israel across range of the sector including tourism, trade, healthcare, the parties stand ready to join the United States to develop the launch of a strategic agenda for Middle East. And they are for the Middle East. So they are developing the strategic agenda for the Middle East, and the parties undertake the foster mutual understanding, coexistence, culture, peace between the societies, and now this is correct. And the Abraham Accord is for the open Abraham Accord, that is open and door for the Muslim around the world to visit the historic sites and the Israel and peacefully Al-Aqsa Mosque of the Jerusalem and holiest site in the Islam, Al-Aqsa Mosque in the Jerusalem. There are only two peace deal between the Israel and Arab. Egypt was the first Arab state to sign the peace deal, that was in 1979. So Egypt signed this deal, and Jordan signed the peace accord, that was in 1994. So Jordan in 94 and Egypt signed 1979. Now consider the following bolson tortoise. So this, it is also called the African giant tortoise or the yellow margin tortoise, and that is in South Africa, and IUCN red list में इसको vulnerable में रखा गया है. So both of them are incorrect actually. So first of bolson tortoise are called the Mexican tortoise, and this is not African. Okay, and the sixth North American tortoise species, and the Huan Desert known as the bolson, which is located in the North Mexico. Okay, so this is an IUCN रेड लिस्ट में इसको बोल्सन टोटोइस को क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड में रखा गया है, एंड इट इज़ क्रिटिकली endangered. Okay, now next one is what regarding the Atlantification of the Arctic Ocean. Atlantification is the cooler and the saltier Atlantic water extending to the northward of the Arctic Ocean. The Atlantification lead to the disappearance of the sea ice, and this change is most prominent in the Barents Sea and disappearing faster than any other Arctic region. So what about this? So Atlantification is the increasing influence of Atlantic water in Arctic, warmer and saltier water. It reached northward, that is actually incorrect. So statement 1 is the incorrect statement. Okay, and so it is reached northward into the Arctic Ocean. Hence, statement one is incorrect, and it is saying the northward into the Arctic Ocean. So saltier water, Atlantification is increasing in Atlantic water in the Arctic, and warmer and the saltier Atlantic water is extending its reach northward into the Arctic Ocean. That is incorrect. The Arctic Ocean is becoming warmer and saltier. Sea ice is disappearing as a result. That is true. The change in the Arctic climate is most prominent in the Barents Sea. That is also true. And the increasing influence of Atlantic water flowing into the Arctic Ocean as a loss of stratification come the warm Atlantic. So Atlantification is a when the cooler and the saltier Atlantic water, so that is actually warmer and saltier. So it is not the cooler water, it is the warmer water. Okay, it is water warmer and the saltier water. Okay, so now this colder layer of the fresh water at the surface is less replenished by the melting ice, lessening the temperature difference between the layers. And lack of sea ice increase the influence of the wind and mixing of the layers. Climate changing in the Arctic is major consequences for all organism. Okay, due to this the some predators that reach the area previously not warm enough change the ecological system, and Arctic shellfish are being expelled and retreat the northern as well. So this is the major consequences for all organism living there. They are facing a warming and danger. That's why European basin is also there is a phytoplankton bloom that is moving near to the European basin and Barents Sea, and 5 degree the typical species have moved 5 degree further north compared to 1987. They are moved the 5 degree further north. Okay, so this is process called the borealization, and this process is also known as the borealization. And borealization, like a predator that reach area previously not warm enough, change the ecological system of the Arctic. That is borealization. Now next, recently Lachin corridor was in the news. So it is the link between Armenia and the enclave of the Nagorno-Karabakh, supporting movement of the essential goods and people. So that is the Lachin corridor. So the Armenia and the Azerbaijan crucial to have a unimpeded passage of this Lachin corridor. This Lachin corridor is strategically important route for Republic or Armenia and the Nagorno-Karabakh. This corridor serves as the land link between the Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh, and this Lachin corridor serves the lifeline for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh and essential supply for the food, fuel, medical and the necessities. So that was the corridor. So you can see this is Azerbaijan, this is Armenia, and this is Azerbaijan, this is Armenia, and here is the Lachin corridor, Nagorno-Karabakh region, and this is Lachin corridor. Azerbaijan blocked new roads connecting to the Armenia to the Nagorno-Karabakh. Now consider about the European Union nature restoration law. So it aimed to reduce the agriculture emissions and promote the biodiversity and sustainable land use. In peatland, which is type of wetland, for more than 1,000 years are remain dead plant storing more carbon than the other ecosystem. 7% of European greenhouse gas emission are result of the drained peatland and the wetland. So what is exactly this? All of three are true. EU has accepted the historical bill to reduce the agriculture emission and promote the biodiversity. So reduce the agri emission and achieve the common goal for the restoring the destroyed ecosystem. And European Union has EU member state will put in the place restoration measure of 30% habitat and terrestrial freshwater in the marine ecosystem. So nature restoration law was first introduced in the European Commission 2022. Allow the 30% of all peatland are currently exploited for the agriculture restore. Peatland, which are type of wetland from over thousands of years, has a remain dead plants. So peatland take the 3% of the planet land area. Okay, and 7% of the greenhouse gas emission are result of the drained peatland and the wetland. So rehabilitation of the land is also used for the grow the timber or plant grasses. Now next is consider the Alzheimer disease. So it is a progressive disease that destroy the memory and important mental function. Recently, monoclonal antibody donanemab is shown the significantly progression for the disease treated early. The donanemab is a low cost medicine. So two are the correct one. First is the progressive disease destroy the memory and other important mental function. That is true. Brain cell connection and the cell themselves degenerate and die, eventually destroying the memory. Memory loss and confusion, no cure, but the medication and the management strategy may be temporary. So Eli Lilly monoclonal antibody Donanabel has been shown the significant progression. That is true. 47% of the patients started the Donanabeb, and therapy with the Donanabeb would be required an early diagnostic, careful selection of the patients, and have to test it for the APOEP gene, and now still do not know all adverse effect. Okay, so it is given the Donanabeb is a low cost medicine, so it is not a low cost medicine. Okay, so third one is incorrect. It is a high cost therapy, not a low cost. Now consider about the artificial intelligence index. The artificial intelligence index independent initiated the Stanford Institute of the Human Center Artificial Intelligence, and the annual report was the collect, distill and the visualize data relating to the artificial intelligence to take the meaningful action to the advanced AI respond and the human and mind. So the AI is the independent initiative for the Stanford Institute of the Artificial Intelligence, and the annual report collect, distill and visualize the data related to the AI. And AI Index collaborate with many different organizations. This organization includes the Center for the Security Emerging Technology, Georgetown University, and NetBase Quid. So that this year report included the new analysis foundation model, including their geopolitical training and environment impact. So AI Index also broadened its tracking for the global AI legislation. Now next one is recently the heat index was launched. So what is incorrect about this? It was launched by the Ministry of Science and Technology. That is not at present the index equation similar to the National Weather Service and the Ocean Atmospheric Administration of USA. The heat index provide the information about the impact of humidity and the high temperature for the human beings, used to indication of the human. Now United Ministry of the Earth Science. So this Ministry of the Earth Science of Indian Meteorological Department is launching the heat index, not the any ministry. Okay, so this is incorrect and this is correct. Impact of humidity on the high temperature provide the feel like a temperature human being will use the indication of human discomfort. At present, heat index derived using the National Weather Service, National Oceanic Service, and and uh, uh, color codes used by experimental heat index: green for the 35 degree Celsius, yellow for the 45, orange for the 55, red for the above 55. Okay, now the recently WHO added the polypill multi-drug combination list essential medicine, and this that is wrong. The polypill has a credible potential to treat the cancer and provide the cure in the near future. So only one is correct, and he is asking about the incorrect one. So 1 is incorrect one. Okay, one is correct one. So WHO added the polypill multi-drug combination essential medicine. So this polypill combination is a Salim Yusuf, developed by Salim Yusuf, a cardiologist and the researcher of the McMaster University, Canada. Recently, WHO added 3 fixed dose combination list essential medicine. So that polypill is a drug combination consisting the combined multiple medication. So benefits is not a new drug but the drug delivering mechanism. It is a drug delivery mechanism and revascularization procedure to treat the cardiovascular conditions also. So this is for the cardiovascular medicine and reduce the risk of cardiovascular events. Okay, so that is not for cancer, it is a cardiovascular events. And Polycape is a Cadila in India. It is manufactured by the Cadila in India. One of the polypill that made it into the EML essential medicine list. The polypill comprises a combination of the simvastatin, ramiprine, atenolol, and the hydrochlorothiazide. And this commonly is the aspirin. Aspirin is included along the 4 drug combination: the acetylsalicylic acid and the aspirin. The polypill is a important low cost public health intervention and prevent the million cardiovascular events and death every year. Now with reference to the cluster bomb. So cluster bomb, they are the designed to release the multiple explosive and the submunition bomblet. They are intentionally banned under the convention cluster Munitian due to their indiscrimination nature. India, United States, Russia, China, Pakistan, Israel recently signed the convention. So what is true actually? Cluster monitor is a cluster bomb, large number of the tiny bomblet from the rocket, missile and artillery. That is true. Intended to explode impact, but significantly proportion are the dudes, meaning that don't explode initially, but from the military perspective they can be horrible effective when used against the dug in ground troops. Convention on the cluster munition is an international legal instrument, so that is adopted by United Nations, prohibit the use of the production, transfer and stockpiling of the cluster munition. It was adopted in Dublin, Ireland 2008. Okay, and now there is a India alongside the United States, Russia, China, Pakistan, Israel has not signed the convention. So it is telling it signed the convention, so they do not sign. The India, Russia, China, Pakistan and Israel, they do not sign the convention. Okay, so they do not sign the convention and not a party to it. Okay, so this is adopted in Dublin, and 110 state parties and 13 signatory state to convention are there. The Sulina Channel was recently Russia-Ukraine conflict. In this context, the Sulina Channel is located within the ecologically rich Danube Delta, and it is near the Danube Delta. Okay, Sulina Channel. So this Sulina Channel was gained significance Ukraine grain trade as an alternate route following Russian departure from the Black Sea. So this situated in the southern part of the Romania within the Danube Delta. So this is near the Romania and the Danube Delta, located mouth of the Danube River of the Black Sea. So this navigation, the channel play crucial role for the maritime trade and transportation between the Danube River and Black Sea. Important, the Sulina Channel is one of the several channel and make up for the intrinsic network waterway in the Danube Delta. Its strategic location has historical, economical significance, and over the year various efforts has been undertaken to improve the navigability of this channel. Okay. So within the ecological rich Danube Delta, which is UNESCO World Heritage Site, and this is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, UNESCO World Heritage Site. So you can see this is a Sulina Channel, and this is Ukraine Danube Delta, and there is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now next one is in international law, what is the role of the International Court of Justice? So only one is here correct. You see, ICJ is the responsible enforcement of international treaty and agreement. It serves as a forum for peaceful settlement dispute between the states. It is the authority to issue arrest warrant, so it is not the authority. The court primarily focus to ensure the compliance with international human right and standard. So now we can see does not have a direct enforcement power. So I told before that it has no direct enforcement power of the legal disputes and provide the advisory opinion only. Okay, on the legal question, while the ICJ is the decision, now it is saying that it is responsible for enforcement of the treaty. That is wrong. Okay, it's a forum for the peaceful settlement of the state. Now second one is, which is the primary role is provide a forum for the state peaceful resolve their dispute. That is true. Actually only two is true here. So only two is true. It is wrong. Authority issue the arrest warrant. No. Court primarily focus to ensure the compliance with international human right. That is also not right. So ICJ is not have a authority to issue arrest warrant. Issue related to international crime are generally handled by the specialized international criminal tribunal. So there is a international criminal tribunal is also there, and it dealing these issues, and it is primary mandate is not specifically focused on ensuring compliance with international human rights standard. Okay, so this is all about the ICJ. So purpose and role, ICJ a principal judicial organ for the UN, and its primary purpose is to settle the legal disputes between the states and advisory opinion for the legal questions, and it consists 15 judges, UN General Assembly and the Security Council. The judges are the nine-year term and are chosen ensure the representative from the different region. Jurisdiction over the two type of cases, relationship of the international work for coordination for the criminal courts and international tribunal for the law of the sea. So it ICJ work in the coordination with the other international courts and tribunal and international criminal courts, international tribunal for the law of sea, and ensure the international law. So ICJ is a located in the Hague. Okay, with reference to the landslide atlas of India, they consider the following statement. So Gaherwal, according to ISRO, Rudraprayag and the Tehri Gairwal of Uttarakhand are the most landslide prone areas. So this Rudraprayag and Tehri Gairwal, and the new report of ISRO and the National Remote Sensing map the landslide vulnerable region as Himalaya and the Western Ghat. Both are true. Actually, ISRO was saying Rudraprayag and Tehri Gairwal, Uttarakhand, most landslide prone area, and the ISRO and NRSC was mapped the landslide vulnerable region. And these regions are the National Remote Sensing Center, or nearly all India database is providing. So this is Himalaya and the Western Ghat region. Okay, around 73% of landslide in the Himalaya region are attributed to the heavy rains, and global climate change is causing heavy rain, and that is erode the steep slope with loose soil. And so you can see this area, this is the northern Himalayan region, and this is the northeastern landslide prone area. So this now consider the following regarding the International Agency for Research on Cancer. It is a specialized cancer agency of the World Health Organization. Its expert committee has recently declared aspartame as an artificial sweetener used in the food industry as a possible carcinogen. Grade 2 substance or the exposures are classified as being probably or possibly carcinogenic to the human. So all of three are true. So WHO was recently declared the aspartame as a WTO declared the aspartame as an artificial sweetener used for the food industry, that is carcinogen, and that is the International Agency for Research of the Cancer, and its headquarters is Lyon, France. Okay. And WHO that was 1965 में इसको establish किया गया. Promote international collaboration in cancer research, interdisciplinary, bringing together skill as epidemiology and laboratory science for the biostatistics. Significance is expertise in coordinating research across the country and organization, and these are classified as being probably as possible carcinogenic to the human. So grade 2 substance may be carcinogenic. Okay. And WHO declared the aspartame as an artificial sweetener used in the food industry as a possible carcinogen, which is aspartame was evaluated, and this authored by the committee of the expert under the authority of International Agency of Research and the Cancer. Okay, so next one is Meteorological Organization. So the World Meteorological Organization is the UN की agency. It is originate from the International Meteorological Organization in the 1873 and headquarters Geneva, Switzerland. The World Meteorological Organization is a specialized agency of the UN Atmospheric Science, Climatology and Hydrology, and this International Meteorological Organization 1876 is proposed to the reform in the status structure of the IMO, culminated in the World Meteorological Convention 1947. So this is also collaborate with the non-governmental partner and other international organization. Headquarters is Geneva and the Switzerland, and WMO is governed by the World Meteorological Congress and composed of the member state, which meets every 4 years, set the policy and priority. The Congress is led by the Executive Council led by the President. Currently, Abdullah Al Mandos of UAE, he is the President. It is also collaborate non-governmental partners. Okay, and headquarters Geneva, Switzerland. Now next question is the smishing, which is recently in the news cyber attack which is executed using a text message. So the smishing is an attack during the text message. Okay, so this is